My name is Ross Arnott, and I'm the owner of Blue Nose Enterprises. Our Blue Nose Coins and Stamps is actually...
Okay, one more time.
Okay. Hi, I'm Ross Arnott, and I'm the owner of Blue Nose Coins and Stamps.
And you started with coins.
Mm-hmm.
And what is it, because there was money in it? You had a general love for it going into it?
I had a general love for it. I was a collector.
So you've been selling coins now for how many years?
Over 50.
1965, the store started in Fairview with my dad. In 1971, he felt that Fairview was getting too expensive. Fairview was one floor, our store was where the elevator was, if you know Fairview, kind of, in the middle of the four corners. My dad had a standalone store when the standalone store was unheard of. Now there's a standalone store in Fairview every 10 feet. Yeah, he had a kiosk in the middle where the elevator is.
In the middle where the elevator is?
Yeah, because it was only one floor, there was no elevator.
Right.
And it was kind of where the four corners, like where everything
meets. The intersection, yeah.
The intersection, exactly.
Actually, I opened up originally on Queen Mary Road. And then I had Queen Mary Road, and I moved to Dollard, and I opened up in Fairview.
What was it like opening up in Fairview at that time? Was it like one of the...
Very busy.
Yeah. Playing in Pascals when my dad was, too boring to stay with.
So weekends, because there were no babysitters or
correct.
Something like that,
it was child abandonment. We would run around in Fairview, before anybody would think of a child getting abducted. And
right.
Yeah, sure. I would run around to any store. But with that said, we came to this mall in 1972, and we've been in this mall since 1972.
What do you mean? Before you were in this location?
We were at Ted's on the farther down the mall.
How did that happen? Did you know the owner?
I knew the owner, yes.
And then here moved in back of Ted's. We're in the back of Ted's from 72 to 80. In 80, we moved to this location where we are now. In this location, the wall was just at the door, so the store was a quarter of the size it is now. And then 2005, the mall expanded, and we're the size we are now.
I was here in 1981, and then the store beside us, which was a pet store, moved to another part of the mall, and we took that store over. And then when the new part was built in the back, their store moved to the back, and we took their store over.
So you took the store that was next door?
Yeah, in 1991, when hockey cards were big,
okay,
that was when we expanded our first time. We were just at the door, we went halfway. There was a pet store in the middle that moved out, and
right.
we took half the pet store, and the store on the other side took half of that.
Right.
And that was because in 1991, you couldn't see the back wall. There were so many people buying hockey cards. Hockey cards were huge. Baseball cards were huge.
I think when I started high school, lunch breaks, we'd go down to Blue Nose, and we would see these cards under glass and be like, why are they under glass? Now they're worth something? They're protected? What's going on here? So that kind of started it, going to that store, seeing them protected behind glass, and meanwhile, I would put these in my bicycle spokes, or we would put them in the corner of the wall, flick other cards at them, and whatever. They were I didn't think they were worth anything. It's not like they were worth something, yes, because we love them, but not monetarily. I never thought that way. I was too young to think that way.
In 1989, just before that, I started working here with my dad, and I said we should do cards. And he said, oh, cards will never sell. But he said, you know what, we'll do cards, and we'll put you just in the corner over here, and if you just have, do $100 a month in cards, you can keep doing cards.
So as far as I know the story, he presented the idea to you when you were just coins and stamps.
Mm-hmm.
Said, I want to bring in cards.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about that? Were you skeptical? And
Well, no.
You didn't think it was going to work? Because it was a new concept for...
Totally, because we're talking in 1988 or 89, and there weren't a lot of collectors, but it took off because there was, when we got into it heavy, there was 25 stores on the West Island that were selling baseball and hockey cards. Now there's only 2.
You included.
Yep.
In 1994, 95, baseball and hockey went on strike in the same year.
Right.
Those 2 sports things that everybody collected were no longer on TV. And when that happened, it killed sports collecting. All of a sudden, if you're one of these 25 stores that was surviving on selling baseball cards and hockey cards, for 6 months you had no revenue. Now we were coins, stamps, we were hockey cards, we were baseball cards. We were very much into the non-sports cards. We had superhero cards. You could buy a Spider-Man card from us.
Right.
And the Spider-Man cards didn't die with the end of sports, but 15 card stores closed down in 6 months.
What?
15 card stores closed down in 6 months. End of it. So now there's only 10 card stores, and then those ones were surviving just barely. And then hockey came back, baseball came back, and nobody cared. They gave up. They didn't collect. So then another 6 to 8 card stores closed down over the next year until there was like 4 card stores left.
Wayne was great. I mean, I have great memories of Wayne, buying cards from Wayne. And hey, heck, it was a big business, and he had a business, and
he survived.
It was supply and demand, yeah.
But he survived.
But he also adapted.
How many places
He
existed?
sold toys. He sold this. He sold
That's
that.
right.
He adapted. He went on to every trend.
Well, after us, there was Magic and Pokemon. Magic came out not too long after
Beanie
us.
Babies and
Beanie
all this
Babies
other
and all
kind
that
of stuff.
stuff.
Yeah,
but Blue Nose is the last
Blue
one
Nose
standing.
is the last one standing, and good for them.
They're the oldest and the last one
They
standing.
knew how to adapt. I think that was the key. So